Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45.
And thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Sharon Stone. We will have those stories coming right up. First, here at 6 o'clock, meteorologist Terry Bennett is here with the first check of your Weather on the One's forecast. It was just like a storm of pollen when we went outside today, Terry.
Right, we didn't have this thunderstorms this evening. It's been a storm of pollen out there, very well put, because the winds are just so gusty out there this evening that we are seeing pollen just flying everywhere. And the question is, so where are the storms? Well, live look from our Greensboro tower cam picture kind of tells the story, because the skies are mostly cloudy and have been so much of the day. Without the heat, we really did not get the fuel we needed to get any major storms going, but the front has not yet crossed the area, and until it does, there is still the chance we could see a few storms get going. And in fact, that is happening right now over portions of Stokes and Surry County. We've got a few showers. Watch how quickly they pop up. Just over the last hour, we go from nothing to something. Also have a little bit of activity down over Chatham County. So this evening, there's going to be the chance for a few showers and an isolated thunderstorm to get going. That threat will end at midnight. Then we're settling in for quieter weather. That front's also kicking up the winds. Wind speeds at the top of the hour up around 20 miles an hour in many locations. We've had gusts up to 35 this afternoon. Breezy through the evening with a few isolated showers and storms, then cooling off and drying out. Saturday morning, we start out in the low 50s, low 70s coming up for high temperatures on Saturday. So the weather's getting back to more typical April-like conditions. We'll take a look at that 7-day outlook here coming up in a little bit. Sharon.
Thank you, Terry. Greensboro has landed a new major sports festival. The Coliseum will host the 2016 USA Masters Games. They include sports ranging from baseball to figure skating to weightlifting. Reporter Ed Scannell talked with organizers about how the city's experience hosting major sporting events should help launch this competition in the right direction. The 2016 USA Masters Games will run from July 22nd to July 31st, 2016. Organizers say the games will be held every 2 years. Kannapolis police are working to fight internet crime. They created 2 designated e-commerce spots with camera surveillance to help people meet safely. After dealing with a number of online scam cases, officers thought this was a good idea. The goal is for people to use the spots for internet business in a lighted parking lot just feet away from law enforcement.
It certainly would curtail, and I would think most people who are not trying to do legitimate business would not want to meet at a police department.
Police say people can also use the main lobby inside the police department to meet for internet transactions. That area is also under constant surveillance. An article this week in a national publication calls Elon University one of the least socioeconomically diverse schools in the country. Amara Mokwe takes a look at Elon's efforts to change that. Elon University officials say the school increased the amount of financial aid provided to students by 400% over the last 4 years. Campus police at Johnson C. Smith University held a session today teaching students what to do when confronted by a police officer. In light of incidents around the country involving contact with officers and African Americans, officers wanted to make sure JCSU students knew the facts about how to interact. Chief Deborah Duncan says she understands it may be a frustrating situation, but getting upset, talking back, and not complying is not worth the possible consequences.
Just be polite. You're not going to win an argument with police officers, and so the best thing to do is just stay there, be polite, be respectful, and we'll deal with whatever happens afterwards.
This is the second workshop JCSU police hosted. Chief Duncan says they plan to have more in the future. UNC Chapel Hill got a $3 million grant from the Department of Homeland Security to address coastal hazards. The university will be the lead institution for a DHS center focused on coastal challenges like hurricanes and flooding. The grant covers the first year of operation. It is a great day for beer lovers across the Triad. April is North Carolina Beer Month. Several events in that vein kick off today. Elena O'Connell shares what brewmasters are up to. It is expected to run out before the end of Sunday, though. North Carolina farmers say the recent recall of Sabra brand classic hummus can be avoided by shopping locally and making your own food. The company announced earlier this week it was recalling 30,000 cases of the popular snack. A chef we talked to told us hummus is one of the easiest things to make. It only requires a few ingredients that can often be found locally where farmers have more information about their produce.
I think I feel safer, more comfortable. We don't use pesticides on our produce, so they can ask us, how was this grown? What was how do you fertilize? How do you manage bugs? They can face-to-face ask those questions.
Sabra recalled 5 different varieties sold nationwide. Still to come here at 6, they walk for those who can't. We'll have a preview of one of the most successful walks to defeat ALS in the country and tell you where it is. It is not too late to join. And later.
You're watching Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45.
Organizers in Greensboro will host their annual Walk to Defeat ALS tomorrow morning. So far, the Greensboro Walk has raised more than $109,000 for the North Carolina ALS Association. It's the only organization of its kind in the country that works to fight the disease on all fronts, from research to assistance for people living with ALS. This walk begins at 10 a.m. in Center City Park. Organizers recommend runners park in downtown Raleigh by 5:30 Sunday morning to avoid traffic. You can search Marathon at twcnews.com for a full list of road closures. Your sports is up next here at 6 o'clock. Jason Brown has the latest from the Masters. And one North Carolina ballpark is making sure the cold one you drink in the stands is fresh, brewed on site fresh. That story and more in our Carolina Minute.